Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here to join you guys for our weekly WIP and Chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat stands for Chat. So feel free to whip out your WIP and work alongside me. I almost said work out alongside me. I guess if you want to work out while I'm talking your ear off, that's fine. But I'm guessing it's more likely that you're going to be crafting or maybe just, getting errands done or just having me keep you company in that way. But that would have been a really funny misspeaking. So anyway, I'm going to be working on a diamond painting with you guys today and catching you up on my week, which included some much needed time off, a little bit of a breather. Before I get into all that though, let me give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to be working with today. I'm actually going to be working on this diamond painting from Diamond Art Club. This is called Twilight Vibes, and it's by the artist Puffy Gator, and it's actually part of a comparison project I've been working on. I already finished the round drill diamond painting kit, which maybe it's right here on the table by me. Maybe I'll show you guys how that turned out. We'll take a glance at it in just a little bit. But I have just these two last sections to go on this square drill kit. So I am looking forward to getting into this section with you guys this evening. As far as tools that I'll be using, I'm really keeping in theme with the colors, the real main colors of this kit. This pen is from Butterfly Effectwares. It was from their Rainbow Sherbet Drop. This might be one of my favorite pens that I own. I really am obsessed with it a lot. So that's from Butterfly Effectwares. The tray itself, this is one of the magic filaments, I think is what they call them over at Muni Made. The wax I'll be using in my single placer, this is Not Your Mama's Mud, which is from the Whimsical Daisies Etsy shop, and it's in the scent It's Coffee Time. And then putty wise, I think we're going to use this Excuse Me Designs putty, which I'm checking. Yeah, okay, this is not the one that I used last time. I was looking to see, did I pinch it off? It doesn't look like it. So this is from Excuse Me Designs. It's their 2.0 formula. I'm gonna try this one in my multi-placer. And then I'm really excited about these, you guys. So today, the day that this video is going up, Monday, May 1st, my friend Emma's Etsy shop is launching. Her Etsy shop's name is Amazing Crafts. It's a play on her name, which is Emma, and then amazing. So Amazing Crafts. And she sent over a few things for me to take a look at. She's been testing a lot of things and sending some things over for opinions and whatnot. And a lot of her first launch is this kind of cottagecore, like fairy dreamland type vibes. And so these are both minders. They've got magnets on the back, and I just think that these are so incredibly beautiful. And if you want another sneak peek, I have this here. This is a really beautifully inspired piece that she's releasing. I think that she's calling this one Hero Stones. But look at this. This is a minder. Look at the depth of it and the big magnet on the back. My youngest has been really obsessed with this minder and talking about all the colors and naming them and whatnot. So she's gonna have some minders and I think some trays releasing in that theme as well. Lots of really fun and beautiful stuff. And I'm really stoked when I see my friends doing fun things and small shop things. So what I do need to do though, while I talk with you, is I actually need to clean out the putty that I've gotten here, which it's these shades of pink and purple because it's a different putty, but I'd like to switch it out anyway. Whenever I'm loading up a new putty, I try to completely clean out the old putty. This thin metal multi-placer is from a shop on AliExpress, and I always have that linked in the description box of these videos, but I asked about those a lot. It's kind of hard to find shops that have the thin metal multi-placers, but I'm a fan of these. Okay, I think we got that mostly clean. Close enough. All right. So, hi, how are you doing? I hope that your week, your Monday are off to, ooh, oh my goodness gracious. Sorry to shake the camera really badly. I hope that your week is off to a really wonderful start, assuming that you're watching this the day that this goes up. It's Sunday evening, and I am sitting down after a pretty quiet weekend to film this with you guys. And like I say every week, I truly love doing these weekly catch-ups. I feel like they're kind of a must-do on my channel at this point, and I always look forward to catching up. So I'm actually coming off of taking a week off from creating content. And if you happen to watch last week's WIP and Chat, which was a kit up and chat, I was kitting up one of these kits. I think the round drill kit is what I was kitting up with you guys. I mentioned kind of casually in that video that I was considering just sort of taking the week off. I mentioned that I was feeling maybe some early stages of burnout, or middle or late stages of burnout, early stages of burnout. I was thinking, especially with Marvelous May coming up and just where I've been feeling like I'm at emotionally, it really feels like maybe the universe is telling me that now is a really good time to just take a breather. And what I ended up doing was deciding to play it by ear. And by the way, I really do appreciate the incredible kindness from you guys in the comment section. It really was a resounding, just supportive, do whatever you need to do. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I really, really do. So thank you for that. And as the week was kind of going, I just was like, I do think I'm going to take that break after all. And it worked out that my sneak peek from Diamond Art Club was delayed because it hit the warehouse on the later side. And so I was like, yeah, I'm really convinced that the universe is telling me that this is just the right time to take a break. I'm going to adjust you because moving my accessories, I see a nice big old patch of glare there in the middle. So I'm going to see if there's, okay, there we go. There's still some glare, but hopefully a little bit less atrocious. My apologies. I did not grab lighting or anything for this, just for sake of practicality, and I hope that you'll forgive me. As I lay diamonds down, that actually should combat some of the glare. It should. But yeah, so it ended up being a really good thing, I think, that I took the week off. I am sorry that I did go a week without having fresh content for you all, but I know that I've talked a lot about how important mental health is here on my channel, and I'm a big proponent of it, and who would I be if I didn't try to follow my own advice every once in a while? But it is nice. It's nice to be back. It was fun to just kind of work on diamond painting. I did end up putting a good amount of content up over on Instagram relating to this comparison project, because honestly, this comparison project has been a delight to work on. In a lot of ways, it feels like going back to my roots. It's been really fun in that sense, because that was sort of one of the tentpole things that I did on my channel was comparison projects. Like I'm pretty sure I talked about this in last week's WIP and Chat, but I used to just do a lot more in the way of comparison stuff, and then just kind of over time naturally shifted away into other kinds of topics and content. But going back to it like this has really been fun. If you are a huge nerd and you enjoy numbers and metrics and statistics and stuff like that, I invite you to go take a look at a couple of my Instagram posts that I did earlier in the week, which it had to do with, honestly, classic scientific method. I had a question that I wanted to answer, and I decided to come up with a way to find that answer. It really is classic scientific method. So the hypothesis was that it generally takes longer to complete a square drill kit than a round drill kit. And as I'm breaking that down, I go, okay, well, there's two ways to look at this. The first way is to look at it as far as the number of diamonds, the number of drills. So because square-shaped diamonds are a little bit smaller than round-shaped diamonds, if you're looking at an area of the canvas by size, you're going to have more square drills in that space than round drills. I actually wrote out all the numbers. I don't have them handy. I'll point you, like I said, over to Instagram. But I did break it down into two separate kinds of experiment and ways to look at it. And one was to look at, okay, how long does it take to complete the same size section? And how long does it take to complete the same section of artwork, which is the same exact number of diamonds and is inherently going to be a smaller section on a square drill canvas than on a round drill canvas? Does that make sense? So I wanted to explore both. I started with that second question of how long to place the same exact number of diamonds in squares versus rounds. And then I thought, okay, I want to control for as many factors as I can. So obvious ways to do that are to make sure that I'm working on the same exact section of the canvas. So it was one of the sections, I think, over here. I have to yawn. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. And so it was the same exact section. I was placing the same exact colors. It negated certain factors like the amount of color blocking and confetti. Those were exactly the same. When I needed to, and how often I needed to pull colors and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, make this the same. I even went so far as to try to make the circumstances the same or as close to the same as possible. I tried to come at each section really fresh. I worked on one section after my kids went to bed, so I was distraction free. This included, I didn't even have any snacks at the time. Is anyone else a snack and crafter? Like you snack and you craft, you've got something nearby. Speaking of snacks, this just happens to be nearby. I'm not going to be snacking in the middle of this video, but can I show you my current favorite seasonal thing from Trader Joe's? So Trader Joe's Many Things snack mix: honey roasted peanuts, spicy and honey butter cereal squares, corn sticks, pretzels, and savory bread chips. It's kind of the mix. I have been looking for a really good sweet savory mix that has like maybe a tiny bit of kick to it, and that is doing the job for me. Now the thing is, I know that is seasonal, and at Trader Joe's, if you shop at Trader Joe's, you know their seasonal stuff is around for maybe a month or two, and when it's gone, it's gone. And so I literally went into Trader Joe's this past week and bought like 4 bags of that trail mix because they already didn't have it on the end caps anymore. So I was like, oh, it's going. Every once in a blue moon, a seasonal thing will be popular enough that they make it a staple, but I don't think a random trail mix like that is gonna probably make the cut. But I'm curious, this is such a random request, but if you have like a favorite trail mix, like I said, is a mix of sweet and that kind of savory flavor with like a tiny bit of kick, let me know. There's one that was really close that I got, I think it was at Target. I'm trying to remember if it was, if it said like Cajun but I mean, it's from Target, so it was like their Good and Gather brand or whatever. So it was like white girl spicy, as I call it. Not a huge kick, or maybe it was do they have like a Texas brand? Or sorry, a Texas like flavor that they called it. I don't know. I had gotten this trail mix as this one kind of trail mix. It was unbranded from like an online like gift service. I'd gotten one of those around the holidays, and I was just so into that trail mix. And you can't just go on the website and just order some of this, because it's like this whole gift service like situation. I'm like, but I just want that exact trail mix. So now I'm on a mission, and I'm like, somehow I'm going to find this like an equivalent kind of trail mix that like ticks the boxes. But I have just this really specific flavor profile that I'm apparently going for. So I'm just being very high maintenance about it. And you guys, trail mix is expensive, so it's not like I have a bunch of money to spend on a bunch of different trail mixes trying to find the right one. So okay, that was the most random tangent ever. Let's go back to talking about the comparison project like I was. Did I dumped a wrong color in here at one point, didn't I? I'm seeing several of this light purple color in here. Did I dump a wrong color at some point? It's sparse enough. Maybe I didn't, but here's in my tray. You see I've got like a half dozen of that lighter purple color. Oh boy. I hope I'm going to have enough colors that isn't going to be an issue later. Okay, back to the comparison project. So I was talking about how when I was doing the first part of this experiment, I wanted to control and make consistent as many factors as possible. Again, this is part of the scientific method. So yeah, no snacks. I was not snacking either time. I did one after my kids went to bed in the evening, and I came at it fresh. Like I hadn't been diamond painting a bunch beforehand, like right beforehand anyway. And then in the next morning after my kids went to school, I did that same section on the other drill shape canvas. And I timed it, and I tried really hard as I was working to be like, okay, the goal is to like just diamond paint normally. Like don't overthink it. Don't set out to like, let me see how fast I can get this done. Anything like that. I thought we'll put on a show like we usually do, and just take it at a nice like normal pace. We're just relaxing. We're just kicking back. Let's have the same mentality both times. I think it worked. And unsurprisingly, it was like 2,100, like 2,100 diamonds on each canvas. And the square drill canvas took like 10 minutes. Again, the data is over on Instagram. I don't have it in front of me. It took like 10 minutes longer to do the same number of squares as in rounds. And each section took me, I think rounds was a little bit less than an hour and squares is a little bit more than an hour. So, not totally shocking. I wonder though, like now I want everyone else to go do the same experiment. And I want to figure out, like, again, that's actually part of the scientific method too, is see if you can duplicate the results. And that kind of, backs up your theory and like verifies like your hypothesis. So, I mean, it's not totally shocking to me that this is how this turned out. It just makes sense because there are more factors at play when you're placing square drills. Like they have to be facing like and be aligned a particular way in order for them to fit where they go. And sometimes when you're placing them, you have to flip around to your single placer and kind of nudge to get them just into place, or even to pop them in if it's like a single space that you just need to fill in. So like I can explain easily all the reasons why it did just take a little bit longer. But I want to know, like, is there someone out there that places square drills faster than rounds? Because that would be fun. I'd want to explore and see like, why is that? But I don't know. I think either you have a ridiculously analytical brain that's is intrigued by the idea of numbers and data, which is me, or you're like, this is the most boring and tedious thing you've ever done. and both mentalities are valid. But I enjoyed it, and I thought, you know, I have never had such a perfect example and opportunity to do something like this, because the nature of it really allowed for so many factors to be controlled, because the rendering is identical on these two canvases. It's just that the round drill one is a bit larger than the square drill one, but the rendering is identical, and I don't really know that that's a thing that you can get from other diamond painting companies at the moment. And it was just the perfect material for the experiment. So I've been thoroughly enjoying myself, loving doing the side-by-sides, and I think others have been enjoying being along for the ride too. So I should finish this square one tonight, and then have some comparison pictures up on socials and probably like the Diamond Art Club VIP group tomorrow. And then I'll film a video with a full review and comparison, really in depth. That probably won't go up for a couple more weeks though. But it will definitely happen. I think it'll be more informative for me to sit and look at both completed canvases and kind of like study them a bit. And I think it'll be easier for me to do those kinds of comparisons once both canvases are completely completed. Completely completed. Say that a million times fast. Completely completed. But in the meantime, you know, still doing some fun side-by-sides, and again, just a fun, like, unique opportunity. So yeah, I mean, both of these kits are out of stock. Hopefully they will be restocked at some point before too long, but I know DAC is in the middle of their big warehouse move. I have a feeling, no insider info here, just a feeling that maybe May we'll see a bunch of restocks. Which, hey, it's May 1st, the day that this is going up. Where did the month of April go? What the heck? It just flew by. It completely flew by, and now we're in the month of May, and here we are. It feels like summer is around the corner. The weather is really warming up where we are. And like, I put the kids in shorts for school for the first time a couple of days this past week, and I am trying not to be grumpy about it. If you have been around my channel like for more than 6 months, well, more than that, I suppose. If you've been around my channel like since the last time it was warm, which for me was over 6 months ago. My apologies. You know that I don't like the heat, and I complain about it. I try really hard not to inundate the channel with complaints about the heat. It's a really kind of big trigger for me, like headache wise. It's a huge headache and migraine trigger. I think part of it is just like how my body regulates temperature. I don't like the heat because I just associate it with headaches and being sweaty and gross, and that, like, in a sensory way is really distracting and annoying to me. But I try to find ways to mitigate it, and I try not to be a big, like, Debbie Downer about it, because I know for a lot of people it's very much the opposite, where they feel very low mentally and emotionally in winter months, and the sunlight and the warmth is healing and a relief to them. So I totally understand that. Just for me, it's the absolute opposite. The summer months, my productivity goes down. Not that my productivity tends to be sky high anyway, but yeah, just finding little ways to mitigate, and like allergies and stuff like that. With things getting warm, the bugs are picking up, the pollen is totally nutty, and yeah, so that's how I'm feeling about the weather. But my kids are happy that it's warm outside. I need to maybe think ahead a bit to the summer and get swim lessons lined up for both boys. We do have a pool in our community, so hopefully we'll just be able to use that. And yeah, so my husband loves the warmth too. He's very excited that it's warmer out. He's like, it's almost warm enough for beach days. And I'm like, oh boy. Oh gosh. But at least we don't have the humidity. I should not complain too much, because at least Southern California, the humidity tends to be pretty minimal. But that means we're also coming up on 1 year of his parents and his sister moving out here. So that's fun as well. I'm sure we'll make lots of fun summer plans, summer family plans all together. Speaking of family, my mom is flying out in a couple of weeks. She'll be here for Connor's birthday, which will be really fun. We'll try to plan something fun to do with him for his birthday. We were talking about maybe taking him to like Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. That'll be fun. And when my mom is here, I'm also hoping like, okay, Adam, I can do some date nights because we got free babysitting built in, and maybe get some yard work projects done too. I did find myself having a few bursts of energy this past week, and I finally tackled some overgrown weeds and stuff that were going on and had just taken over part of our backyard/patio area. And I just had to go get the weed. We have like this weed whacker tool from the garage, and I'm not even kidding you guys. Some of this stuff was above waist height, and it had gotten to a point where it had kind of overgrown a bit, where we have like a mini play set for the kids that has just like a really small slide on it and like a little basketball hoop off the side. And what happened was that Micah went to go down it the other week, like a week ago, and as he goes down the slide, he's like, "Mommy, jungle playground." And I thought, okay, when my 5-year-old is noticing it and calling it out, let's take care of business. Honestly, what happened is that we had a lot of rain this, quote, winter. A lot of rain for Southern California, and the way that our vegetation responds when we get a small amount of rain is to grow. When we get a lot of rain, it just is totally out of control. So anyway, grabbed the weed whacker, went to town, and it looks like night and day. But I was only able to really do a first pass and try to take out as much as I could, and then I had to go get a rake and like rake it all up and then sweep it into like a trash bin. And then I need to go back and do a second pass, because it was just kind of a hack job to do the first pass at all, to try to get to as much as I could. But that was one of those things that had been hanging over my head for a while, and was kind of just a product of like executive dysfunction, among other things, where it's a task that like you should do, that it shouldn't be a big deal to take care of, but it just feels impossible, and you just sit there going, why is this so hard? Why is this like this just should not be a big deal. So I took care of it, and I feel good that I have that. I would like to try to get the back patio area looking just a little bit more enjoyable, especially because summer is coming, and I'm sure the kids are going to want to spend a lot of time out there. It's a safe place for Micah to play because it's really contained. It's a space in between our condo and our garage, and it's entirely enclosed. And Micah has a little bit of a flight risk. it kind of just goes with, I mean, both my kiddos have special needs, and this is just really consistent with Micah's special needs. As they call it, eloping is kind of the technical term for it. It's where kids just kind of will walk or wander off, and they don't really have a good sense of safety or what's like appropriate and that sort of thing. So I'm very, very cautious about where and what context I'll put Micah into because of that. But because our back area, patio area and yard area is so safe, that's why I want to make it a little bit more enjoyable of a place to spend time. So doing all this like weeding and cutting things back was really one of the first steps. And when my mom is out here, my mother-in-law actually offered if we wanted her to come out. She said she'd be more than happy to come up, and we could just tag team all of us, you know, kind of getting that all wrangled. And I think that would really help, because I don't like taking on big tasks like that by myself. I like having someone beside me working and helping me get it done. And so that sounds good to me. And I kind of want to like replace some plants that had died and stuff like that. But I do want to make sure that whatever we put out there, that it's not going to be high maintenance and require me to like water every day or something like that. Because let's be totally real here. It's not something I can commit to doing, but they make drought resistant plants. This shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, I'm thinking a little bit ahead to some other kinds of projects and stuff like that I can do when my mom is here. She likes having projects to do. It's possible she's listening to this video. If she is, Mom, you know I love you very much. And you also know very well, you say yourself that you need jobs. You need work to do, put you to work. So I just try to think ahead on those things. So I'm thinking ahead of that. Like I said, it was good to take this past week off from content creating in general, aside from Instagram. The work that goes into filming, editing, uploading, and then attempting to stay up to date with responding to comments and whatnot, that can take up a lot of time and mental energy. And I'm thankful that I was able to take just a week off and take a breather. Like I said, I didn't even try to film anything. I didn't try to like film ahead or anything like that. I just thought, let me just take some time to just relax, craft, get some family time in, and take a breather. In large part because I knew that I have Marvelous May kicking off, which is today, like I said earlier, and then immediately following Summer with Masters. And events just can feel like a little bit more work to me. I was talking about this just a little bit earlier today. I did a pop-up live stream. It was kind of a co-working style live stream with my Patreon. I've been trying to do those a little bit more often because I find myself I love the dynamics of the live streams generally, especially when they're a little bit smaller and it's a chance to feel like you're just chatting with a smaller group of people, and it feels a lot more like you have company. And I mentioned in there just talking about how I love doing events and hosting events and using my platform for that kind of thing. But it definitely is a shift mentally as far as making content goes, because it's outside of the kinds of videos that you guys usually see from me, which is, you know, there are tutorials, but it's a lot of things like reviews of completed kits or unboxings or WIP and chats like this one or small shop hauls and all those sorts of things. And those just don't feel like as much of a mental load to me. But when it comes to events, I'm excited about getting to come up with ideas and try new things on my channel, but it also sometimes it feels intimidating and like, am I gonna be able to come up with something that I feel like is up to snuff and that'll be enjoyable and relevant and engaging, all those kinds of things. And I find myself questioning myself a lot more when it comes to event-related content. So I tried to really get out of my own head a little bit about it. And part of taking the week off from creating content was so that I could let my brain kind of mull over what kinds of things I want to do for these events and how I can put my best foot forward with them. And I hope that it helped. I don't want to set the bar crazy high, because I don't want anyone to have I don't want anyone to have beyond realistic expectations. But at the same time, I hope that it will make these events enjoyable. I am really looking forward to Marvelous May and Summer with the Masters. Things are really coming together, and that's good. But like I said, I love that this has become a space where we're all okay and safe to talk about our mental health and to be not okay, and it can be unpolished or whatnot. And I'm glad that I had just for once the chance to sort of practice what I preach by taking a little time for myself and to take care of my own mental health. I am hoping that I can shift back into having therapy a bit more regularly. There have just been some things that have shifted. A lot of it has to do with our current health insurance situation, Adam's job situation, and finances and stuff like that. But I've been taking some steps towards some other things for my mental health that I think could also potentially then turn into a good therapist for me to meet with for talk therapy again, because I used to be in therapy, and I had weekly therapy, but then our health insurance situation changed and I had to put that on pause. It was intended to just be a short pause, and it's turned into a longer one. It's been 5 or 6 months now. And for someone that talks a lot about how I think everyone should be in therapy, I am not actually following through on that, but I'm planning to. I'm planning to make that change, and I'm in the process of taking steps towards making that happen. But in the meantime, still, taking this week off was a good step for a good thing to do for my mental health. And this is just your gentle reminder from me to be taking care of your mental health as well. Make sure you're drinking your water, take your meds, get some sunshine if that helps you, or find other things that are uplifting and life-giving to you and help you shift out of a bad mental headspace. And if you are just sort of on the edge and wondering do I really need to do therapy? Do I really need to talk to my doctor about X, Y, or Z? I can provide that gentle nudge and suggestion that, go ahead and make that phone call or send that message through your patient portal and make sure you're taking care of you. So that's your very, very gentle reminder from me. If nothing else, go drink some water. Everyone needs to be drinking more water, especially as we're going into these darn hot summer months. Let the complaining commence. But yeah, so week off. Now I'm back to it. You have I did put up that Marvelous May kickoff video today that I'm filming. So Sunday, which is yesterday for you guys. And try to just snapshot all of the event details there. Have it in one place on YouTube, since I had just posted some kind of more bullet point stuff elsewhere, like in the VIP group and on my Instagram, and I thought, let me get it up on YouTube as well. Hopefully that helped you guys. But yeah, Marvelous May is kicking off. I will do my best to remember to link to that video. Oops, I just saw a diamond go flying. There it is. Oh, a couple of diamonds. Yeesh. I will link to that announcement launch video below in case you want to jump in. It's very no frills. That was a deliberate decision on my part. I feel a little bit bad. I do feel bad. But it's more of a practicality thing. I feel bad that I'm not able to partner with more small shops for sponsorships for Marvelous May. The biggest single reason for that is because Marvel is notoriously protective of their IPs, and I did not want to do anything that would approach risking the licensing agreement they have with Diamond Art Club. And that includes having small shops do even lightly inspired stuff. I just didn't even want to mess with it. It was like even generic superhero stuff. I just don't want to invite any trouble whatsoever. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let's just have Diamond Art Club be the only sponsor. You will see some other small shops that are doing some themed stuff. And that certainly just is what it is. And I just want to let you guys know that's not like an official thing. And I do feel bad, but it's, hopefully that actually is also protecting small shops too, because I wouldn't want anyone to get into trouble. But yeah, hopefully the prizes will still be good, like fun and enjoyable. I decided that I'm going to be working on my Doctor Strange kit for the event. I sat down to film for the first time in a week, almost a week, on Saturday evening, because I knew I wanted to put up the Marvelous May kickoff/launch video on Sunday, the next day, which is yesterday, for you guys now. And I thought, well, I've got my setup here. This video was really short and pretty easy to do. Why don't I go ahead and film unboxing the 2 Marvel kits that I bought, which were Doctor Strange and Iron Man. In large part because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to work on. So I thought, let me do the unboxing video. And I'll also just make this be my week 1 video. It'll go up on May 8th. So by the way, if you came to this video thinking that this was going to be the Marvelous May week 1 video, unfortunately it is not. There's no giveaways in this particular video. Like I mentioned in the launch video, the first video will go up on Monday, May 8th. And yeah, that's, I think, going to be that unboxing that I did of Doctor Strange and Iron Man. And I thought, let me do this unboxing, and hopefully seeing the canvases, seeing the colors and all that will help me actually decide which one I want to work on. And it actually did. I was blown away when I was looking at the Doctor Strange kit in person. I had watched Sophie, the Diamond Help Desk, I'd watched her sneak peek of that kit and was really blown away by it. But then when I saw it in person, I was just like that much more enamored by it. And that's when I decided, I think this is going to be the one I work on. Even though it is quite a bit larger than Iron Man, I still think that'll be really fun to work on. I know that I could work on both because I have a whole month, but I have so many projects that I want to be working on. I didn't want to lock myself into working on 2 Marvel kits. I'm also working really hard and knowing myself, I'm working really hard not to risk burnout, and I'm afraid I'd get event burnout if I tried to work on 2. So I think I'll work on Doctor Strange throughout the month of May. I'll kind of space it out, and I'll have another WIP going at the same time. I really badly want to spend some time on my cross-stitch conversion. You are probably incredibly sick of hearing me talk about it and thinking I'm just being really flaky. And I kind of am. I have let that project slide to the back burner It's gotten shifted to the back burner time and time again, and I really, really, really do need to spend some time on that one this month. And I want to, like, I miss it. It's not just like, oh no, people are going to be mad at me or I have an obligation to work on it. It's no, like, I really enjoy working on a cross-stitch conversion. I'd really like to get back to that kit. I miss it. And as you guys know, I also try to really work on a variety of kits from a variety of different companies, and so I don't want it to just be Diamond Art Club all month either. I have a lot of kits in my stash that I'm kind of eyeing, and I'll have some decisions to make. So that's kind of my plan for Marvelous May, and I think that'll work out okay. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone work on their Marvel projects. I don't really know how many people will participate, and that's completely fine if it's just me and the couple other people that I've seen post pictures and, you know, tag the event and talk about it. That's totally fine. I will happily just nerd out with as few or as many people want to come and do that. There's no social media requirement or like progress check-ins for this event. If you want to share on social media and follow along with the event, the hashtag that I'm using is Marvelous May DAC. I was just going to do Marvelous May, but then I looked at those the hashtags for it on Instagram, and it has already been like it's been used for a ton of other things. And so I wanted to make it distinct for this event so people weren't just getting a ton of unrelated content if they searched or followed that tag. So that's why Marvelous May DAC and not just Marvelous May, because it's not that unique of a tag. Even Marvelous May 2023, I don't think that's going to work because, again, like I think anyone could use that tag for anything unrelated to diamond painting. So hopefully that helps it stand out a little bit. I am looking forward to getting back to making content this week. As I knew I would, and it's completely okay. I'm not gonna, burn myself out trying to play catch up because that completely defeats the purpose. But I do have plenty of content that is waiting to be created. I have some kits to film and post reviews of. I have some unboxings to do. Naturally, I am waiting for another I have a small shop haul that is just waiting to be done. I've got a nice little pile of packages waiting for me to get into and share with you all. And yeah, and of course, like it's the end of a month, the beginning of a new month, so I have a month in review video to do. Again, I'm really trying not to be like, oh no, scramble, I have to do all the things, because I don't have to do all the things. Very few of these things are time sensitive. It's all gonna be completely fine. Let's keep this nice, relaxed mental state where I am just doing what I can and what I am up for, and we're just gonna take our time. By the way, I did not decide like I'm gonna take a week off from content creating and totally skip doing a Diamond Art Club sneak peek. It just so happened to work out, and maybe I think I did mention this actually in last week's WIP and Chat, that I knew that my Diamond Art Club sneak peek was going to be delayed. It wasn't gonna hit the warehouse till later in the week. And it just worked out. Again, universe telling me this is the time to take a little break. So that sneak peek is actually supposed to be coming in a day or two for we'll call it a first look. It is Jupiter by Roy Trin. Sorry, I needed a quick drink of water. Just continuing with that series of his. And I really like the look of that one, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys. And I should, hopefully, as long as it ships on time, I should have a sneak peek for you guys this week. And yeah, just some of the kind of usual content. do that month in review soon and whatnot. I think that I'm going to end up, how many was it? I think technically I'm going to have 6 finishes for the month of April, but the first of those finishes was the Loki kit, which I finished this like the second day of April. I was almost done with that kit at the end of March. And so it feels like cheating to call that a finish because it was mostly done, but oh well, that's fine. And then I had like my Jaded Gem Shop Mystery Kit. I have these comparison kits. I had Beauty and Chaos from Munimade, which I filmed that post review last night as well, actually, because I was like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to film more than one video. I was enjoying getting back to it, even though it actually did take me a bit to sort of get back in the groove. I felt out of practice, and I thought I only took 6 or 7 days off from filming, and I feel out of practice about this. This is so silly, but it was fine. Maybe it sort of gave me a little bit of a refreshed perspective on filming, but I even found myself just enjoying filming that post review, especially because that kit is so serene and warm and cozy and whatnot, and highly recommend if the art looks like your style and you want to sign up for like back in stock notifications from Munimade. As far as just I've been talking a lot about like diamond painting specific stuff and whatnot. I guess I touched on some family stuff too, but family's doing well. We're all healthy at the moment. The kids are doing well with school. Connor had an open house this past week, which included book fair, and he got to pick out, Adam actually went with him, he got to pick out a couple of books at the book fair, and he loved that. His current fascination is with natural disasters, and so he was very tickled to find a book that was all about volcanoes, and we were reading that together earlier. And Adam got the chance to talk to his teacher and see his classroom, and Connor had decided that he wanted Adam to go because he said, Mom, you got to come with me to my open house last time. Can Dad go with me this time? And I was like, of course, buddy, whatever you want. But Adam did get to talk to Connor's teacher, his gen ed teacher, and she said that Connor's continued to do just incredibly well with transitioning over from the special ed class. And that's wonderful news to hear. It's, we've been getting general, like, good reports. Like, she'll mention something like once in a while. But she said the transition has just gone really incredibly smoothly, and I'm really glad for that. And Adam said that when they were at the open house that several of his classmates saw him and were happy to see him and said hi to him, and Connor was just really tickled to show Adam his class and stuff. So I'm really glad that went well, and I'm glad that he has like some friends at school and stuff like that. Just made my mom heart really happy. But Micah's doing well. We're going to speech twice a week, and I feel like he's clicking well with his speech teacher, and he loves going to speech and he loves school. So that really, really helps that it doesn't feel like a slog or painful or anything like that to send him to either thing. But Adam is still job hunting. We are hoping that maybe this week we'll have some more promising news, but we are just taking it one day at a time, and he's working his butt off trying to make it happen. And I'm doing well too. Just like I said, that week off was a good choice. It was something I needed, and yeah. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Adam's actually going to be home soon. He's been gone for the weekend helping, sorry to bump you, a friend with a short film project. They were filming all weekend, and he should actually be home pretty soon here. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up so I can hang out with him when he gets home. But thank you so much for hanging out with me in my WIP and Chat this week. Let me know in the comment section how you've been doing, what you were working on while we chatted. And if you made it all the way to the end, How about an emoji that's something like that has fairy vibes? I don't know if there's mushrooms or if there's a fairy emoji, but something that kind of gives those sorts of vibes. Let's go with that for our emoji. I hope you guys are doing well. Also, if you made it to the end and you're not already subscribed, you'll probably like it here, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I share new videos. Thanks so much for hanging out, you guys. I'm looking forward to finishing this and sharing the finish with you guys soon, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. All right, friends, have a great rest of your day. I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.